about 10 hours of tagging the shark. We went home, and that night we got our first data reading from the shark. And it was a very exciting moment for all of us, because knowing that she's there swimming at the surface means she's okay and that we did a good job.
The data reveal that Megan caught Indy just in time.
Indy stays near where we tagged her for a couple days, and then she makes a pretty abrupt movement north along the Colville Ridge up towards Tonga and Fiji.
The Colville Ridge is an underwater mountain range that runs north from New Zealand. It creates turbulence in the ocean currents that drives cold, nutrient-rich water up from the depths. It mixes with the sunlit surface waters and can support huge populations of sea life, including some of the Mako's favorite food: kingfish, grouper, and tuna.
So one of the most interesting things we've seen so far is that even though Indy spends most of her time between 0 and 25 meters, she's actually made it down to over 600 meters depth.
This is the deepest dive by a Mako ever recorded in the Southern Hemisphere. The question is, what's she doing down there?
Wouldn't we like to know? I mean, it would be great if we could ask them these questions, but you know, it could be related to prey searching, it could be related to traveling, it could be related to getting rid of parasites. We don't really know.
Indy's tag is already shining a light on the mysteries of the Mako. The species is particularly difficult to study because its migration means it spends a lot of time in the vastness of the open ocean. But there is another way to learn about Makos. By looking at the animals these apex predators prey upon, like the bronze whaler shark.
They're a shark that we often encounter in summer in New Zealand. They come in, they like the warmer, shallower water. They're often at the back of surf breaks. They're often where you go diving.
At over 3 meters, fully grown bronze whalers are too big for Mako to take on. But they do feed on juveniles. And recently, there seems to have been a dramatic rise in the population of bronze whalers. Fishermen like Clark were among the first to notice the change.
I've been spearfishing for the last 10 years or so, and I can say that I'm seeing more sharks now than I've ever seen before.
This is a concern for locals, because bronze whalers are well known for their unprovoked attacks on humans.
So we're anchored up one evening, and I think, all right, I'm going to go for a spearfish. So I decide to shoot another small fish, and that'll bring any other snapper, which is my target. Something catches my eye, and I just turn, and there, over my shoulder, is a bronze whaler shark, and it wants what I've got.
Incidents of bronze whalers competing with divers for their catches seems to be getting more common.
They're learning signals or cues, and unfortunately for me, one of those cues is the sound of a spear gun. There's places now that I won't go spearfishing because just the action of firing a gun will send a sound out to any nearby bronze whalers. They'll show up expecting a free feed and can cause you a few problems in the water. 1 in the water is okay. 2, you've got to be a little bit careful, but 3 or more bronze whalers in the water and it can be really, really dangerous. They're a pack animal. They can turn on you at a moment's notice.
The rise of bronze whaler numbers may well give clues as to the state of the Mako population.
One of the thoughts might be that a lot of the Makos have been taken out of the food chain, so they're not predating on the smaller bronze whalers, and this has given their numbers a chance to explode.
Tagging Indy was a major success. But there's bad news for Megan and the crew. An enormous tropical storm that has wreaked havoc down the coast of Australia is heading towards New Zealand.
That could be the signal of the end of summer. That could be the signal that makes all the sharks just leave New Zealand and head off to somewhere warmer.
We only have 2 or 3 more days to get this last tag in, and it's feeling real right now.
But the sharks don't seem to appreciate Megan's urgency. The only ones that show up are blues and smaller makos. So Megan makes use of their presence by taking tissue samples.
It's too far away. There's the other one right down there. The tissue samples allow us to do an isotopic analysis. And basically all that means, it's fancy talk for being able to figure out what this animal is eating. This was a much better sample than the last one.
The tissue samples keep Megan occupied, while there are no large taggable sharks around. But suddenly, a different shape appears in the water.
Stand back, watch yourself.
Get the team ready.
A shadow moving with stealth and speed.
This is the one.
That's the one we should tag for sure.
You think this is hours old?
It's adorable. It's a baby shark.
Sharks receive no parental care. They are completely independent from birth. So this tiny blue shark has never been warned not to talk to strangers.
Megan and I are talking about how to sex a shark, and the call is made. Well, one way to find out is just to grab it and have a look.
Female. Look at those eyes and those teeth. A bit jagged. All right, let's release him.
You got it? Okay.
The tiny blue is the last shark they'll see today.
So the storm's gonna be here in 2 days and we get rained off. It's getting a bit stressful at this point.
Some people deny the power of extra flaming hot.
Oh! Is it hot?
No, spicy deniers.
Not hot at all.
But why deny? Embrace the heat. Don't be a denier. Own the fire. Try new extra flaming hot.
What happened to our home? I will stop that. I can tell the whole world what's happening.
Make that holiday feeling even sweeter with the perfect travel insurance for your trip.
Go.compare! Epic deals now on at Currys. Save £600 and unlock AI experiences with the Galaxy Book 4 Pro, a super slim laptop with an AMOLED touchscreen powered by an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor from $999. Save up to £20 on Hisense A6K Smart 4K TVs, Dolby Vision HDR and home cinema experience from $229, and save up to £200 on LG extra large capacity washing machines from $419 at Currys.
Feel Radox ready.
can beat.
Jam dodgers, jam packed with mischief.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Amazing.
At Lidl, we've been voted Britain's #1 supermarket bakery. So, to the ones who declare, the way to my heart is to a little pan au chocolat, or say our sourdough is absolutely elite. And to those who know our brownies are 10 out of 10. Thanks, because we think our bakery's super too. Lidl Bakery, voted Britain's #1 by you.
Is this place?
We are completely lost.
Everything will be all right. I'm okay.
Time is pretty much run out. And there's more bad news. Indy's satellite tag reveals that she continues to follow the Colville Ridge north towards Fiji. But just after she leaves New Zealand waters, the tag falls silent.
The tag could have just stopped transmitting. She could be fine and still. During this project, we've seen just a handful of taggable sharks, so the likelihood of getting one on our last day is pretty small.
The day begins with good conditions, but only smaller makos. But then a new fin breaks the surface.
So against all odds, this large shark shows up, and it's probably the biggest one we've seen so far.
Everyone leaps into action.
Is that big one?
But with lots of smaller sharks in the water, it's difficult to single out the big one they want.
Is that small one or the same one?
Just saw him go down the back of the boat.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. There's your fish. Stand by, guys. Watch that rope. It chucked the bait out, straight in on it, hooks up, and I'm thinking, yeah, right, let's go. He's right at the boat, so this is really, really dangerous and critical. Okay, he doesn't know he's hooked yet. Right, I think he's hooked. No? Careful, guys, he's pointing towards the boat. Just be very careful, he's pointing towards the boat. This is a real moment because it's pointing straight at us. 1, 2 kicks of its tail and it'll be in the boat. Okay, he hasn't figured out he's hooked yet. I'm really worried at this point. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
That's our shark. So it's all looking good. And I'm gonna pull that line, see if I can get a connection.
Clark pulls on the line to set the hook, and the bait just comes right out. and we're so upset.
Clark gets fresh bait straight back into the water.
Where's our mate? Do you think he'll come back? Marcos don't get big by accident, and a big shark like that, smart shark, there's a good chance that that's it. It's spooked. It's not coming back.
But just as all seems lost, another shark joins the party.
Oh, another shark's here. Another shark's here. Oh, big conflict. That's a big, wide shark.
Yeah, it is. We can't believe our luck. I don't think we've seen 2 large sharks on the same day. This is the last chance that we have to do this, and it is a big animal, and it's definitely taggable. Yep.
It's coming around. It's down here. It's turned on it. Oh, it's like the shark is teasing me. I can see him. That's yours if you want it. Why is that fish doing not fish things? Oh, that's close on the back of it. All right, it's got it. It's got it in his mouth. It's doing a big circle. He's coming back around towards the boat. You put some pressure on it and see what happens. Oh, I felt that connect. I think we've got a shark. Oh, finally, it's hooked. We're in no hurry, so we're not bringing the shark in for a good while yet.
They attach a float to the line to provide extra buoyancy and resistance, which will help tire out the shark.
This is good, so we're just wearing him down. So whoever's on that tail rope,
So Clark has it on the hook, and the line is taut, and then all of a sudden it goes slack, and we're thinking, oh my gosh, did we just lose this shark?
is she getting sharp? Am I just pulling in a hook? What's happening? But I don't realize that actually the Marco is swimming straight at the boat, and then I look up, and there it is.
The shark is still hooked and right beside the boat.
It's time to get that shark strapped down. Let's get a tag in it.
The crews learned from last time. Securing the shark is far more efficient. Megan has learned something too. This time, she's given the drill some waterproofing.
One down. If I can have the tag, please. Great.
Keep going, keep going. That's it. Yep, that's good.
But the shark has no intention of making this easy.
Hold on.
Just let him go, The tag's in.
Yeah.
My forearms are bruised, my shins are all bruised. Imagine laying on the back of a moving boat trying to screw in something on the side of another boat. But it's alive and it has teeth and it's moving around. It's just not an easy thing to do. Washer and nut. Great. Okay, last one. All right, I'll leave a little bit of room for fin growth, remember? There we go, we got it.
You happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Yep.
All right.
The last bolt is on.
You over his nose?
Yeah, we're working on it. Yep, bang on his nose. Yes.
At 2 meters and 5 centimeters, this is now the largest mako ever satellite tagged in New Zealand waters.
We get the shark revived. Good shark. Get that loop in there.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms off.
Mission accomplished! Got it.
Once again, it's a female. The crew name her Devon.
Well done.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Got it. Woo!
not a moment too soon.
The next day, this huge storm rolls in. We couldn't even get out of town, the storm was so big, let alone go out on a boat. So we really got this in the nick of time.
The season for tagging is officially over. Now they wait for the data.
So we've done what we've set out to do, and it's just a really exciting moment.
Devon leaves the New Zealand coast almost immediately, heading north.
We don't think that this is an artifact of tagging. We think we interrupted her right in the middle of when she was ready to travel up north anyway.
Devon's movements are almost identical to Indy's. She travels up the Colville Ridge, and after 4 weeks has covered over 1,800 kilometers, an average of 65 kilometers per day. Devon mimics Indy's route so precisely that she inevitably arrives at almost the exact spot where Indy disappeared. Then, she turns around. 3 months later, Devon is back in the relative safety of New Zealand, in the remote and abundant waters around the Kermadec Islands. As a female approaching maturity, her location may be a clue to the biggest questions for Mako scientists.
So if we are able to figure out where they're mating and where they're giving birth, that would be a key area for us to know to protect. It would be great if these tags and other tags around the world, not just limited to here, would show us, where those areas were, so maybe we could better protect this species.
Devon is possibly showing the way, but it will take many more sharks bearing tags before we know the answer for sure. Sharks have stalked our oceans for 400 million years. Yet we are only just beginning to understand the mysteries of these great predators. With every new tag,
Well done.
and every new piece of data, we can gradually unravel their secrets and help ensure that the Mako, the fastest shark in the world, is still swimming our oceans for generations to come.
Science project. Tomorrow? Mom! Don't worry, just build that rocket.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whatever school throws at you, bring it on with George. Exclusively at Asda.
Block rockin' beats. Back with another one of those block rockin' beats.
Jam Dodgers, jam-packed with mischief.
Inside the ring, I know what is a battle. Right now, my battle is for the lives of my citizens.
Do we have a plan, and are we going to stay with that plan? Yes.
I gave everything.
Night. A sea of stars in a sky full of mystery. This bright, clear, heavenly ocean is viewed from a parallel world. From a tiny constellation lost in another mighty expanse. The Atlantic Ocean. In the heart of this boundless immensity, a tiny, unique volcanic cluster. The Canary Islands. A microcosmos intimately bound with the rest of the universe. From the strange peaks of its oceanic mountains, reaching nearly 4,000 meters into the clear blue sky, the stars seem so close. There are few places on the planet where the rest of the universe can be contemplated so intensely. Here, the connection with the infinite, enigmatic, and unknowable universe is palpable. And here also begins a journey from the remotest of places, from the origin of life itself, right up to now, to the mountain peaks of the Canary Islands are an exotic window onto the universe. They climb directly out of the ocean. The Teide rises vertiginously over barely a few dozen kilometers to an altitude of 3,700 meters. It's the highest peak in all the Atlantic Ocean and the third highest volcano in the world. Its summit is an island amongst the islands, a remote place, only suitable for the most special of travelers. This mountainous terrain, along with the steep-sided Caldera de Taburiente on the neighboring island of La Palma, share an environment unseen anywhere else on the planet. These high mountain ecosystems are the most extreme places on the Canary Islands, with temperatures that can vary between -16 and 34 degrees centigrade. In this tough, broken volcanic landscape live strange plants and animals that are experts in surviving the freezing cold, the stifling heat, and the intense solar radiation. Very few animals are so well adapted to this environment as the Tenerife or Western Canaries lizard. Nine million years ago, these reptiles' ancestors arrived from the oldest islands, Fuerteventura and Lanzarote, and gradually conquered the entire territory until they reached its summits. The peaks are where Tenerife lizards have the fewest predators and where they can pursue their reproductive instincts unhindered. Large males compete, chasing each other to keep rival suitors away from females in heat. Their courtship races reach their peak in the spring. These are intensely indulgent moments. Food and sex are in abundance. In late spring, the peaks of La Palma and Tenerife are transformed from an unforgiving landscape into a fleeting but incomparable garden of delights. The striking red flowers of the Tower of Jewels, also known as Red, Tenerife or Mount Teide Buglos, are among the most beautiful and spectacular in the world. In crowded colonies, they grow only now and only here, in spring at the top of the Teide and La Caldera de Taburiente. Growing in columns 2 to 3 meters high, the inflorescences of the Tower of Jewels are loaded with nectar and pollen, which attract many endemic insects. Though ephemeral, lasting only a few weeks, their brief lives are crucial for the insect species on the summits. Like prisoners of the peaks that are their only home, the Towers of Jewels mimic these volcanoes that seem to be suspended from the sky. The volcanic origin of the Canary Islands can be seen everywhere. From the highest peaks to the low-lying coasts. The ocean crashes into the Canary coastline, revealing the island's fundamentally volcanic nature. All of the islands of the archipelago have steep, rugged coastlines where the evidence of ancient lava is unmissable. On the islands with the highest altitudes and steepest sides, the elevated volcanic ravines plunge into the sea. In the north of La Gomera, basalt columns emerge like the last remnants of Atlantic temples. All these geological features are the result of volcanic activity, which started creating each of the islands 20 million years ago. Lava is the essence of a bright, burning universe of distant stars and planets. Here in the middle of the ocean, it takes beautiful and primitive forms. The ancient appearance of some islands, such as Lanzarote, brings to mind what the Earth might have looked like as it was erupting into existence. The beauty of a wild and ancient land is on display in the area's geological formations. But life has found a way even here on the most ancient of the archipelago's islands. A harsh and hostile environment, but one which plants, lizards and birds have all made their home. Volcanic landscapes are found throughout the island group, and each island has become a unique place thanks in part to the wild tourists that visit. In the remotest islets of North Lanzarote, Eleonora's falcon spends the summer. After an incredible journey of thousands of kilometers from its wintering quarters in Madagascar, they take respite in Alegrantha, where the last puddles of recent rains remain. Eleonora's falcons have established their summer breeding colonies on the steep sides of the volcanoes. The chicks are fed exclusively on accidental tourists, migratory birds that their parents hunt out in the middle of the ocean. Chill winds from the Atlantic drive the migrating birds into the falcon's path, but they also move the ocean currents between the islands. There, caressed by waves and wind amongst the islands that make up this oceanic constellation, dolphins jump and play. These too are inhabitants of the islands, and also its hunters. A cloud of small fish attempts to escape, closing ranks and tightening into a shoal. But the dolphins pick them off one by one, enjoying the delicious snacks brought by the currents. Falcons in the air, dolphins among the waves, and high above everything, the clouds, pushed by the trade winds. As the trade winds, the alisios or easterlies, blow across the ocean, they pick up moisture, which is then transported in the form of clouds. The lowest lying Canary Islands watch the clouds pass overhead, their life-giving moisture tantalizingly out of reach. But islands with areas of higher altitudes, with summits at hundreds or thousands of meters above sea level, act like a barrier to the clouds, which crash against them in enraged waves.
This is Tom Dean. Yes, the actual. Is he a man or is he a fish? Gold medal winning Tom Dean. And this bed is going to help him be at his best for his next race day. In fact, the whole team could benefit from a sleep on a dreams mattress. Oh, sorry. So, drop in, lie down, and chat to one of their bed experts.
People like to say,
It is what it is.
and that's true, until it isn't. Remember before AI when you couldn't do this?
Watch this video and list the authors she quoted.
Oh, that's smart. What else can it do?
Find me the top spots for tagine in Marrakesh and put them on a map.
Nice. Remember when all phones pretty much did the same stuff? Until they didn't. Google Pixel 9.
The only thing I should be worrying about on my holiday is which sun cream to use, not which door in my home a burglar might be sizing up.
With Verisure, you can sleep soundly with 24/7 expert monitoring, dispatching aid when needed. Sign up today and get 2 free smoke detectors set up. Give us a bell or head to the website for a quote.
There's the hard way to fill your room with long-lasting fragrance. Or there's the Airwick way, with our plug-in range that smells as good as it looks. Experience full room fragrance infused with natural essential oils for up to 100 days with 5 fragrance settings and our 360 room fill technology. Airwick Plug-in, fragrance that embraces every space. Now that's a breath of fresh Airwick.
This summer, turn a lunchtime into a Taste the Difference picnic.
Sainsbury's, good food for all of us.
I was born in Blackpool and I came to London to be someone. Hello? Oh.
You have star quality.
I have never met anyone like you.
What, Northern? Future's in your hands. You just gotta grab it.
On the Caldera de Taburiente, below the peak of the Teide, or in the heights of Gran Canaria, the clouds launch their attacks against the Kingdom of the Pines. Canary Island pine trees form their forests on high, dry land. They're very Spartan trees and unique to this region. Canary pines are robust, but their leaves are feathery and light, giving them a delicate appearance. Their long, thin needles allow the pines to capture the moisture coming from the sea of clouds that washes over them. In these volcanic forests lives a small and unusual group of unique animals. They arrived here slowly from Africa and Europe, taking a leap to conquer this little new world. Over time, millions or hundreds of thousands of years, they evolved into new species and subspecies that live exclusively in the Canary pine forests. The Tenerife blue chaffinch, for example. The Tenerife blue chaffinch is a unique prisoner living in seclusion in the pine forests of only 2 islands, Gran Canaria and Tenerife. Its intense blue plumage, somewhat unusual among birds, is a reminder of the universe it inhabits, trapped between the infinite sky and the deep blue ocean. The origin of the Tenerife blue chaffinch goes back hundreds of thousands of years along the lineage of common finches. The Tenerife blue chaffinch has evolved to be able to exploit the Canary Island pine forests, influenced by their ecological rules. This forest specialist feeds almost exclusively on pine seeds, so its existence depends directly on the survival of the pine forests. The great spotted woodpecker, curiously, also lives exclusively on the same islands as the Tenerife blue chaffinch. But these are arriviste, having landed here from the mainland recently, only a few thousand years ago. Discovering the large pine-covered mountains was like reaching paradise for the great spotted woodpecker. A territory replete with food and places to raise a family, without rivals and only a few predators. Every year, the great spotted woodpeckers confirm their conquest by bringing new generations of carpenters to this unusual wooded Eden. Every species in the Canary pine forest has its own story to tell. Canary Island or Canarian red-billed choughs only live on the steep slopes of Caldera de Taburiente, on the island of La Palma, where there are neither blue chaffinches nor woodpeckers. They arrived here tens of thousands of years ago from the Atlas Mountains in Africa, and on the walls of the caldera found rocky, protected areas where they could nest. They easily adapted to the most abundant resource, canary pine seeds. In between volcanic peaks and scudding, moisture-laden clouds, the pine forests provide them with a huge pantry. The islands, like planets from a distant constellation, float in a blue universe. But not an empty one. The ocean surrounding the Canary Islands universe is full of life. Barely a few kilometers from the Canary pine forests that surround the ancient volcanoes, next to the coastal cliffs, patrols a family of pilot whales. Pilot whales orbit the islands like little satellites. The ocean of the coastline plummets and plunges thousands of meters down. The pilot whales know how to exploit the richness of the deep and unknown world that lies just off the islands. They dive in search of large squid, and then the pod returns to the surface to breathe and play, reaffirming their close family bonds. Like interstellar travelers, the pilot whales move among the currents, following invisible paths that unite the Canary Islands underwater. And as always, far above, the clouds slip through the skies, heavy with their invaluable load of fresh water, urged on unceasingly by the tireless trade winds. The ever-restless clouds lash the steep, high sides of the archipelago's highest islands. While on the coasts it is warm and dry, where the clouds crash day after day, it's very wet and cool. Up here, where the clouds break, one of the most extraordinary woodlands on the planet endures. This forest is almost always enveloped by mist. The mist hides its mysteries behind a veil moved by the wind. The Lorisilva. This subtropical forest, hidden between clouds and volcanic peaks, is a true lost paradise, millions of years old. Lorisilva, or laurel forests, are botanical relics of the Neogene period that took up refuge in some corners of El Hierro and Gran Canaria. But it's on Tenerife, La Palma, and especially La Gomera that the last great laurel forests have survived to this day. The Lorisilva is a mysterious jungle, wet and fertile. The lichens and mosses that cover the trunks and branches absorb the water that hangs heavy in the atmosphere. Woodland experts in milking the clouds. Every square centimeter of laurel forest is dedicated to absorbing moisture from the mist. Drop by drop, a constant flow is created, allowing countless lianas, ferns, and species of trees to grow here and nowhere else in the world. This exuberant, enigmatic atmosphere is home to other lost beings, other prisoners of the mist. Living like forest phantoms or will-o'-the-wisps, some birds' fates depend entirely on the survival of the Lorisilva, their only home. Boll's pigeons move discreetly among the branches of the ancient trees of the unique Canarian jungle. Hidden among lichens and lianas, they seek the nutritious fruits that grow all year. Ball's pigeons barely make a sound and flee at the first hint of a threat. They only let their guard down when taking their daily bath or when drinking from the abundant puddles found in the laurel forest. The laurel or white-tailed laurel pigeon is as discreet and elegant as Ball's, but can escape the laurel forest to reach open country, even heading to the cliffs and into ravines, where it establishes its nest and looks for food. Laurel pigeons, shy and skittish, are very terrestrial birds. They band together in small flocks that roam among the leaf litter, gathering seeds, grains, and fallen fruits. The pigeons of the Canary Islands are perhaps as old as the very forests where they live. Other birds, in comparison, are more recent arrivals. From its birth, this small constellation of islands has received the advance parties of explorers on an eternal search. Both occasional visitors and pioneers from the natural world, with greater or lesser fortune, stake their claims on new territories, on islands, in a state of constant change. And although it might appear almost counterintuitive, the most sought-after places by wild travelers are the most extreme. Violent, exaggerated geography turns out to be just what some of the Canaries' most remarkable beings like best.
Somewhere, my lover stands on golden sands and watches beyond the sea.
Oh, I see. On a P&O Cruises holiday, I'm island hopping by Whirlpool.
Caribbean holidays from 1099. P&O Cruises. Holiday like never before. At all protected.
At Mr. Q, you win some, you lose some.
MrQ.com, the shockingly good casino.
We understand that you have some questions.
Is it legal?
Does it smell?
You don't have to smoke it, do you?
Is it actually for people like me?
It's okay. We have the answers. For the facts, search Curaleaf Clinic today.
Give your kids a head start with NatWest Rooster Money. They can save towards their goals, manage their spending, and even help out to earn extra pocket money. You'll get alerts and can easily top them up. Go for gold and sign up to get your limited edition Team GB card this summer. First month subscription free, then $1.99 a month or $19.99 a year. Search NatWest Rooster Money in your app store. Tomorrow begins today with NatWest, proud partner of Team GB.
In big games, anything can happen. So preparation is key. Anticipate the flashpoints. Analyse every detail, even the height of the centre backs. Only then can you predict more than 8 corners.
Nice one, Gary. You can get the bill then.
Win 25% more on every Premier League, Championship and Scottish Premiership game with Bet Builder Extra, only from William Hill.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon Lewis. People don't really see me. Not at all, actually. Lately, I've been getting really angry. Like, really angry.
Volcanic ravines are the result of aggressive processes of erosion that have excavated the land here to produce amazing locations. Deep, sheer-sided gorges measuring hundreds of meters in height form some of the most characteristic landscapes of the Canary Islands. The highest islands are the most abrupt, possessing the most extraordinary chasms. These are perhaps the most characteristic natural features of Canarian geology. These ravines are home to stunning ecological tapestries. The plants and animals of these gorges are extraordinarily closely connected. Gran Canaria giant lizards are the masters of these ravines, and as such, their main ecological protagonists. These lizards move over the whole area to fulfill their role. Canary's lizards are almost wholly herbivorous. They mostly feed on endemic fruits and flowers. This diet makes these reptiles the main dispersers and pollinators of the plants of the ravines. Many plant species owe their survival and their distribution to the lizards. But they're not the only ones responsible for pollinating and dispersing seeds. Small archipelago birds, such as the Canary Islands chiffchaff, are actively involved in the reproduction of their favorite plants. Birds and flowers have co-evolved in a mutually beneficial relationship. The birds exclusively exploit a very nutritious food, and in return, the plants reproduce effectively. But part of the symbiotic harmony and diversity of the ravines also depends on predators. The gullies offer excellent locations for a little falcon. The prior conquest of the islands by insects, reptiles, and small birds allowed Canarian kestrels to take up residence without fear of going hungry. The diversity of resources here and the kestrel's adaptive capacity has meant that the Canary Islands kestrel is now the most common raptor on the archipelago. The Canary Island lizards, the kestrel's favorite food, lost their paradise when these little birds of prey arrived. The Kestrels are masters of the sky above the tiny islands. But the archipelago is also sea. The space between the islands is not at all an interstellar void. The sea binds the islands together and with them forms a unique place on the planet. Universal travelers from sea and sky pass here from their birth. Explorers, astronauts taking flight to other worlds, whales, such as sperm whales, and many other cetaceans, swim among the volcanoes. The combination of geographical situation, ocean currents, submarine relief, and climate have made the Canaries archipelago one of the richest places in terms of cetaceans in the world. Here, rather than separate, the sea unites two worlds, the solid and the liquid. Each island offers its own set of opportunities to travelers brave enough to cross the ocean. Ancient forests, cloud-dwelling pine woodlands, towering peaks. In the Canary Islands, lost in the ocean, a complex world has been created. But there is also room for the most fundamental ecosystems. Such as desert. The influence of the nearby Sahara is keenly felt on islands such as Fuerteventura, Lanzarote, and the south of Gran Canaria. The beauty and breadth of the desert occupies the heart of these islands. Surprising animals leave their own traces in the sand. Here, African travelers have found hospitable habitats. The Canarian Hubara, a small bustard, arrived a mere 20,000 years ago and discovered desert plains offering an excellent opportunity to live. Among the hables, the local dunes, the Hubara found plants and insects attractive and plentiful enough for it not to need to return to its African origins. The peculiar wealth of this desert, which occasionally bursts into bloom, also provides refuge to stone curlews, hiding their camouflaged eggs among the bushes. The Canarian stone curlew's plumage allows it to virtually disappear when the flowery desert is in bloom, hiding it from gulls. Gulls come from the coast to hunt locusts, but they will happily take a seat at a lunch table of a stone curlew's nest with an egg inside. Gulls are aggressive and dangerous, so the stone curlews, barely perceptible in their excellent camouflage, hold their position with admirable sang-froid until the danger has passed.
School, cool. Even if Jordan battled a bowl of beans and lost. We get it, we've got you. With affordable quality and style at Matalan.
More excitement at your fingertips? You're on. Unibet has all your favourite slots. Thousands of top titles. New games drop weekly. Exclusive slots. Plus jackpots guaranteed at over £2 million and growing. Join today, deposit £10, get a £40 casino bonus. Unibet, you're on.
I have a life too, Bill. Who had the calamari? It was for the table. I didn't eat any calamari, so I'm not paying for any calamari. What are you, 7? Ah. That's for crumpets, sweetheart.
Studies show our relationship with money is formed from the age of 7. To start a new one, whatever your age, talk to us today. Barclays. Make money work for you.
Talk.
We need to talk.
Quite unbearable.
He does share our ideas.
It's enough. One single solar panel, seriously. You should be doing the whole neighborhood.
What if I never had to go to a charging station because I could just charge at home?
Oi! Already on it, mate. Don't worry yourself. Really.
It's on us to make new energy work. Eon Next. Visit eonnext.com.
There's a whole world we've been missing out on.
Get ready for our family migration!
Can Toothpick come too? This is awesome!
We have a number 2 situation.
Can we land? Are you sure no one's watching?
Win, Mallard! Do it now, or we leave without you.
We're the same that way. Broken until the world ended.
The wild travelers who came, saw, and conquered the archipelago have created a complex ecological network. A recent arrival found no competitors, and so took its place at the top of the food pyramid. A Canarian subspecies of the Egyptian vulture, the gire. This is the only carrion eater on these islands. Barely 2,500 years ago, the first humans landed on the islands with their flocks of goats. The Gires followed not far behind. While all Egyptian vultures in Europe migrate every year between Africa and Europe to complete their life cycle, their Canarian cousins have found no need to travel beyond the island's boundaries anymore. The deserts above which the Gire flies merge with the coastline. Sea winds push the sands towards the interior of the islands, creating voluptuous dunes. A silky white sheet of fine sand is laid out on top of the volcanic rock. These are the crushed remains of shells and conches, forming endless beaches. On the beaches of the Canaries, the quintessences of two worlds, the terrestrial and the marine, meet. In addition to the migrating birds that make their rest stop on the Canary Island coasts, further inland, strange creatures of alien aspect rapidly create their peculiar designs. These tiny star maps are in fact deadly traps. Antlion larvae build their traps to catch other insects. One after another is sacrificed without a hint of remorse. Just a few meters away, on the other side of the beach, where the ocean surrounds the islands, another surprising creature lies submerged. The Canaries are the last refuge of many beings who have been decimated in other seas. In the case of the angel shark, or monkfish, good numbers of this flattened shark survive here. Angel sharks, like the antlions on the nearby shore, use the sand to hide and to hunt. In addition to the angel shark, these deep and rich waters are home to hundreds of species of plants and animals that depend on the islands to survive. Below the surface, above the waves, or soaring high through the sky, wild travelers and explorers have, since time immemorial, laid in a course for the small constellation of Canary Islands. As if a mirror of the sky above, starfish tirelessly move across the infinite sands. Every day, from the bottom of the ocean to the tops of the volcanic peaks, a miniature universe made from the same elements as the stars above lives out its intense life. And like the constellations that move through the universe beyond, the Canary Islands, floating in the Atlantic, lonely but lush, ancient but ever renewed, intimately bound to the stars and to infinity, await the arrival of new, intrepid, interstellar explorers.
I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to dream. You would, I suppose, start out by fulfilling all your wishes. Love affairs, banquets, wonderful journeys. And after you've done that for some time, you'd forget that you were dreaming.
So you can stay in control. Bring your wave responsibly.
Dyson Air Straight dries and straightens simultaneously from wet. Not with plates in extreme heat, but with high velocity air that's concentrated into powerful focused airflow. To dry and straighten. Saving time by simplifying your routine and creating natural straight styles.
I was born in Blackpool and I came to London to be someone. Hello? Whoa.
You have star quality.
I've never met anyone like you.
What, Northern? Future's in your hands. You just gotta grab it.
The following program contains scenes of surgical procedures.
At Lilongwe Wildlife Centre, the team must make a difficult decision to save the life of a young antelope.
Gosh. What are we gonna do?
A bush baby with tummy trouble needs special care.
It's so hard with all that fluff, hey? You don't know where the skin starts and the fluff finishes.
Come on. And Amanda tries to collar a lion with its entire family watching.
Good heavens, they are close.
It's all in a day's work for Malawi's only wildlife rescue team. Many of the animals at Lilongwe Wildlife Centre arrive here orphaned and alone. But some quickly develop special bonds. This pair of young Daika antelope have become fast friends.
Esty and Gigi get on like a house on fire. They have since the moment they met. Gigi came to us in the way that a lot of Daikas come. Daika mums leave their babies stashed in the bushes where they go off and forage. People often find these babies hiding in the bushes and assume they've been abandoned. So they bring them into the centre. Esty, unfortunately, had a much rougher start. Esty was rescued from some villagers who were kind of passing her around, most likely for the bushmeat trade. We noticed from the beginning that she wasn't walking quite normally. On her front left leg, she kind of seemed very uncertain of it and didn't really want to put any pressure on it.
The veterinary team took an X-ray and discovered the bone wasn't broken, but it was infected, and she was put on antibiotics.
Unfortunately, over the time she's been here, it has developed and got into a much worse infection.
Esty's on pain medication, but the team need to know why her leg isn't improving, so she's going to have another X-ray. Animal care assistant Ella has to separate the two friends.
I know, you're fine.
They don't have X-ray facilities at the centre, so they're taking Esty to a clinic on the other side of Lilongwe.
The plan for every animal that arrives at the centre is release. That's what we're here for, is to rescue, rehabilitate and release. So that's our ultimate plan for Gigi and Esty. Obviously, it will depend on Esty's health. We're not going to release an animal that is severely compromised.
Although the clinic's only a few kilometres away, getting there can take a while because Malawi's bustling capital city is home to around 1 million people. Amanda and fellow vet Charlotte are hoping that by comparing the X-rays, they'll be able to see if the infection has spread.
We'd like to see that there is no active infection in the bone anymore, because that's going to determine whether or not she gets to go and be released in the wild or whether or not she has to stay with us.
Esty needs to be sedated, but Daikas are flighty creatures.
Wait, hold on. Okay, great. Now you got it? Yep. Beautiful. Don't step in this, you turkey butt. You're fine. Okay, good.
The LSPCA's veterinary manager, Tino, often lends a hand with wildlife emergencies.
Taking?
Yep.
After several weeks of care at the centre, they were hoping Esty would have improved enough to be released.